Beloved star, welcome to Immortal Starlight Pod episode 27. And this one, the fulfillment of the Sunstar codes of solstice for us, each one, what that encompasses, what that means as we approach this in the Northern Hemisphere, this summer solstice. And there is this profound relationship between the two solstice lights. And as I am gifted by the Elven remembrance to remember and work with the December solstice as the point when the new cosmic instructions are seeded and received for the beginning of every new cycle of creation, of soul star creation. For we arrive to this earth as eternal and infinite beings of light, and we do that not just when we incarnate, but over and over again in these infinite and beautiful cycles of our evolution, that we are continuously, if you like, redreaming, recreating ourselves in the infinite as part of the all that is. And so within every year, there is this divine play of the creation of our being in co-creation here with Earth, with Gaia, with Oriel, with Tara. And that is a great arrival all over again in each wave. So for this year, there was the overlighting guidance that this is the year of angels. The year when there is the handing over of the keys of power to physical reality. So what is the reigning paradigm? What is the reigning key code that overlights physical manifestation, physical becoming, the formation of our physical plane reality? And with that handing over, that what we see this year is the transition into creating the physical dimensionality of our homelands, of our soul star presence, of that crystalline lighted remembrance we hold within of who we truly are and where we come from. And that is able now to flow in directly. The cosmic, galactic, stellar, and beyond source codes all established, and also the earthen codes and the elemental codes established for that to take place and for us to create directly as these seventh dimensional and beyond beings of light. And upon this and with and as the creators of this seventh dimensional earth, Oriel as the Elven, remember her. And within our experience, that means the great dropping away of so much of the expectations of how our reality might function and might work, of what's possible for us, what's really possible for me here, what do I expect to happen today and tomorrow, and what is my reality composed? And within, while in our greater and infinite being that is eternally in alignment with cosmic law and the true nature of creation, within our personality structures here and egoic structures, we've been in an experience where heaven and earth are split. And it's as though those far realms of our being experience something quite different to our earthen reality and experience here. And when we've lived that, that can become encoded within the personality and the egoic structures that we just expect that to some degree to carry on. But when the conditions shift, as they have collectively, as well as within ourselves individually, those expectations simply create and generate a block to the fulfillment of the miracle that is truly possible now. And so with the inflowing of these new cosmic instructions for this year of this year of angels and this handing over of the keys of power, there is the cleansing within each one of us of the parts of us, of our personality and egoic structures that might actually block this possibility. And I found myself over this last weekend, especially in a really, really, really deep release of the parts of my personality and egoic being that don't trust, and source and this divine and infinite intelligence that flows through all. That if I were to say specifically into the space of that lack of trust, it's like the part that says yes 1,000% to spirit, to the divine, to soul star, remembrance, to all that I am, but doesn't fully believe in the translation through to here in the full flows of that creational translation into the reality here. And that the divine intelligence of source is wrought into and through every moment that I walk here upon the physical plane. So as that which I am, but also as that within the hologram of the physical reality, that which I am met with, that which flows back. And as that has been dropping out, that last, as though egoic and personality blocking resistance to the miracle, I feel the calling of solstice in this, of the solstice point that we travel into next week, as though already as this great stargates do echoing through, that it calls now for the complete blossoming through and through. And I find that as an internal gesture now of absolute surrender into trust, that that is exactly what is unfolding through every moment and every breath. That walk and that forging of the sacred dimensionality of the seventh dimensional earth, Oriel, and the return for myself of my own homeland dimensionality, which as it comes through relationship, through the physical reality and manifestation, is experienced as so beyond miraculous. And that's, yes, perhaps partly conveyed by the sense of a self that's been outside of that experiencing. And so it seems extraordinary, supernatural, above or beyond nature, miraculous, gifted by a grace that is beyond this plane and doesn't fall into the usual order of causality and possibility. But as we synchronize with knowing and remembering that this is the very most natural nature of creation, of all it is the ground of the infinite and divine quantum reality in which we dwell in every moment, and that which we are, that this interdimensional reality, we remember this as natural. So that sense of the miraculous is not of contra to nature. It is perhaps most significantly, it denotes this sense of wonder. Like for me, that sense of the miraculous, of letting this miracle happen, is of the very natural sense of wonder. And I have to say that implicit in that is this deepest bow of gratitude, of wonder and gratitude that such is possible, that this is the divine nature of reality, of existence, of all that is, and of our beautiful, beautiful earth. And so I think that sense of the miraculous, as we transition into alignment with understanding nature all over again, understanding matter, the material, the physical, as at one-ment with spirit, with the infinite, with the eternal, with source. We remember that and know that within the innermost core of our being, and that the sequencings of the formation of our reality is in accordance with this. That, yeah, we remember it as natural. It starts to seem so maybe not miraculous, more ordinary. This is our new normal, our new ordinary. And yet, yeah, that miraculous for me still pertains in that sense of grace, of wonder, and of gratitude. Wonderment, gratitude for this that feels inherent to that level of reality and experience. And while many speak of gratitude as a quality to cultivate in order to transition and raise our vibration, it's partly because it's a natural quality of that state. Even if we don't cultivate gratitude, as our vibration rises, we find ourselves in gratitude. It's simply part of our natural state at this level and this vibration, and of this wonderment, of this miracle. And so the message of the Sunstar fulfillment of our reality at this time of solstice is to remove the blocks within yourself. Let the miracle happen. Remove the blocks within yourself to this level of miracle at whatever level you may feel that within your being at this time, and sensing into that. For the time of the solstice is of the full blossoming, the full earthen celestial blossoming of that cosmic instruction you received around the time of the last solstice, maybe through the new year, that you felt that seeding of what you were called to, of what this year would be for you, of what inflowed as the cosmic and the source instructions, that we come back to full trust. As free will beings, we can choose whether or not we fulfill that blueprint, those divine instructions of our innermost soul star essence. Check in that you haven't lost faith, that you haven't moved away, that you haven't diminished your trust in the fullness of that timeline, that miracle, that blossoming, that becoming. And I have to say for myself, I've had a really challenging year, because on the ground, it's looked like the opposite. Like so many aspects of my reality here have felt like they are contra to that timeline that I was gifted. And it's because on the plane as it's appeared here, that the reality that has dissolved out the lower vibrational structure, if you like, of my own self and reality that has been holding space here up to this point in my own evolution, everything that can't support that higher timeline coming in and that age of angels within myself as it is seeding through this year has been dissolving out, and often to the outer senses is unexpected what dissolves out. And things that we may have thought, the way we thought it would look, is different. The essence, though, is absolutely true. And that's where our faith can be really tested, our faith and our trust. Am I a fool to believe in this full flowering, full blossoming of my dream? And in fact, it goes beyond faith and trust, because it's a choice. It's a choice. What you're really having faith and trust in is your own power as a creational being to choose. And that the power of that choice means that so it is, and so it is, and so it is done. And that is the energy of solstice as it's presenting. Let it be done. Let it be accomplished through you. What was set in motion, who you're called to become in this year of angels, this year of the handing over of the keys of power to the creation of our physical reality. Let it be accomplished. Let it be done. Give all of your energy. Let go of any personality blocks, egoic blocks that exist within you, to allowing this completion of this celestial earthen blossoming. And I believe that as it flows through, as it comes through that solstice, we come through the sequencing of the other stargates to this solstice, and they lead us on a great journey, a very beautiful sequencing as that divine reality arrives to earth and dances with her realities, arrives here, and we re-receive it all over again, as it were. We understand it from here, and that's the point where we begin to understand. So I spoke of when we, the unexpected quality. How will it look? How will it look here? Well, at this kind of point, there begins to be the very conscious intelligence of, as we've synchronized with Earth in the bringing through of those codes. And for myself, I felt that as the energy of descent in this last while, like every part of my being has longed for Earth, to be with the natural, to be with the simplicity and the presence of earth. When I'm in descent spirals, that's what I feel is like this profound longing for the elemental, for the pure earthen essence, for simplicity. And there's a part of my being correspondingly that longs to let go of complexities of light, of being away from earth at any level. And as that completes and is accomplished, as I come back to her 1,000%, I come back to the purest earthen elements of my own being, which in this year has been the return to this white reindeer woman, the archetype and essence within my own soul stream and multidimensional presence that I have returned to and restored to through this cycle. As I come back to her and I synchronize with her and with earth, that I become ready all over again to ascend, if you like. So I return into earth to ascend and to rise back into source and to the light, the energy of source, and to receive again that pure knowing of the pattern, the expression that wishes to be accomplished and completed through me. And so I'd love to ask you a simple question as this pod completes. Now, the poet Keats, I believe it was, from my poetry days, that he delineated two different realms of creation and modes of creation for the poet. And that is the realm of secondary creation and the realm of primary creation. As I remember that now, I'm remembering old textbooks, reading them, and it's saying tertiary creation also. I'm going to stick with secondary and primary. That when we are in secondary creation, we are dancing with already established patterns of inspiration that have been brought in here. So for the poet, it might mean that you are weaving very, very beautiful poems, but they are kind of nuanced, really, with all of the beautiful things about poetry and lines that you've learnt. Maybe you've read lots of poetry and you've sat with nature and you've felt sort of currents and rhythms of beauty already established on this plane, and you have drawn from them. And Sylvia Plath, the poet, spoke of this also, saw it in her poetry. Like, she was a very accomplished poet before she entered the stream of really her own voice. She wrote amazingly accomplished poetry and it was beautiful. But that is the realm of what Keats would call secondary creation. And from a spiritual perspective of our ascension, that's the phase we move through as we bring in much beauty for ourselves. We remember much of the art of spiritual connection, of spiritual energies, and weaving that plane once more within our own existence as we ascend. But we then gravitate. There is a calling within our being, and this is a very, I feel, an immense and subtle threshold, and yet very distinct when we are there, that we begin to long for that realm of primary creation. We begin to feel the direct crystalline sequencing and remembrance within ourselves, and the longing to bring that through directly from our own source, I am, crystalline essence, that Christ light within. And this is what I call the realm of seventh dimensional creation. And that is what Keats would call primary creation. And from there, it's like, that's our realm of genius. That's when we are drawing through what we could do infinitely and eternally forever. We transition into timelessness, peace, this infinite adventure of bringing that through. But the funny thing is that the personality and the ego will often block us from making that transition at this very, very subtle and yet distinct threshold. We'll say, hang on, I don't entirely trust myself, or I'm going to distract myself. I'm going to block making that transition. I'm going to draw from these already established streams of beauty, of information, and so forth. And we just don't quite believe in ourselves, perhaps, that we're ready, that we're enough, that we really can. The personality blocks that. I can say again, blocking the miracle, blocking what's possible. In a way, saying, no, I'm in a world where only secondary creation is possible. Primary creation is beyond, or only for the few, the gifted few. This is our transition of the dawn. It's not. It's a universal state that we can choose, and that those cosmic celestial instructions that we receive of that direct crystalline knowing, the miracle you've been called to through this cycle, not to lose faith, not to lose trust, not to abandon that realm of primary creation, but to, at this solstice point, the guidance of this pod is in following through on this sunstar creation of your being through this cycle. You let it be completed, that you let it be accomplished, that you ask the question through this following week, what belongs to the realm of secondary creation for me? What can I let go of during this phase, this stargate, this sacred portal? What is beautiful but really not essential to me fulfilling the soul star timeline of this year? I am going to choose instead to let the miracle happen. What belongs to my realm of primary creation? What is needed through this stargate for me to fulfill this realm of primary, of soul star creation, to allow this full celestial earthen blossoming of my being? And so these are the kind of subtle thresholds we are now at and that we work at and within. And part of what will distinguish the realm of secondary creation from primary, when you sense into that, is the secondary will feel quite busy, quite full, beautiful, almost too beautiful, like, you know, a riotous garden just overflowing, and you can't even walk down the paths, it's so full, or be in it. It's like, wow, it's kind of coming at me from all directions, and it's amazing, but I'm not quite sure. I kind of just want to rest and stand out from all of this because, yeah, there is so much. It's quite full, the realm of secondary creation. It also feels a bit like, yeah, maybe we can blip out there because we're not taking full responsibility. It gives us a kind of ease. We're kind of resting into things that aren't really our direct crystalline responsibility and calling to bring through. And the realm of primary creation, by contrast, will feel simultaneously very powerful and very peaceful. Unitary, oneness, simplicity, bliss, and yet expansive, known and yet unknown. That you are, if you like, within the heart of mystery, allowing those pure, crystalline, creational dimensions of your being to flow through. You feel timeless and yet purposeful all at once. Because in timelessness, we kind of enter into music instead of feeling like a clock moving either with us, for us, against us. Are we synchronized with it? Aren't we? And at the same time, it's not blipping out into a timelessness that is like we've stopped everything. It's the kind of timelessness we experience within primary creation, soul star being, seventh dimensional and beyond existence, is that of a state of the music. We are walking within timelessness, within mystery, in accordance with the music of our being, if you like. And there is a cadence, there is a song. We are in the strand of the song that is our part of the Song of Songs. So it is not without temporality, if you like, for there is a tempo, a music, a song indwelling within that timelessness, and we move within that. And so I would love to leave you with that question. You can sit with that. I've sat with that for myself and sensed into the distinction, because it's really useful for us at this point in our ascension to be able to make that distinction. And I'll just read the guidance that came through for this year, that came through around solstice at the last point and around solstice in the new year, just to speak that at this time of the summer solstice as we are in this hemisphere. And for those not, just feeling into what's resonant for you within this pod, what integrates with where you are now in your cycle. So our home dimension and whole relationship to the cosmos is altering in this next phase, this age of angels. The energetics are shifted, the galactic planes and gateways. There is a new angelical invitation coming through the realm of the sun to remain clad in our sacred regalia, star DNA and avatar true self-image, in its feeling state and vibration at unsurpassed levels, consistently. Let us attune and align to this new design and explore what this means in terms of our energetic mastery and choices. A beautiful healing in the realm of the sun to release any old triggers deep in the unconscious that block or prevent this next level and cause us to take off our sacred regalia. Beautiful, unparalleled new solar codes and angelical support inflowing. So it's a great moment to ask yourself all over again at this point of our passage, is there anything in those personality and egoic structures causing you to take off your sacred regalia, to take off your sacred dream, to move out of that state of primary creation, of that avatar presencing, of being here truly walking this earth as the one who you are, clad in the sacred regalia of your home worlds, star worlds, earthen worlds of that crystalline vibration? Are you really allowing yourself to remain as fully clad as you could be in the light of the miracle that you are? Let the miracle happen through this stargate. So much love completing here and now. May you have a most blessed solstice. And if you'd love to travel with me through the solstice stargate, you can join the Elven Aurora, where that will be our first lodge of the next cycle of the rose moon. And this really supports that sense of full blossoming, of being clad in our sacred regalia, of all that we are. It's an absolutely beautiful moment and cycle to join if you love to walk with the Elven for your ascension for as long as you wish. You can do it for a moon or two, or you can choose to do a whole cycle and really anchor the intention to access this level of existence very fully. And so that will this will be open through the next few days, and through as we arrive to the solstice stargate, probably to around the solstice. So you're very welcome to enter if you would love to do this. But also that I will return for the next pod, and we will continue this beautiful sequencing of codes together through the pods. So much love, and have a most blessed solstice stargate, walking together, elder starlight kin of worlds and dimensions as we are. Ithara mi ora te toranyana, erithiana yatiana. The time is here, our time is here. All is well, and all is well, and all is well. Thinara Totian. So much love, and goodbye for now.